to another episode of Steehn vs. Machine. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman and Steehnmachine Steehn. As always, I'm joined by the lead handicapper over there at Winners and Winers, Scott, the Steamroller Steehn. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm the guest who's the best, apparently.
Oh, that's not bad. I always tell Owen's the beast with the least, so the guest with the best would be very funny. You get to be the end first. Oh, how's
good. I'm glad I have a day job and don't have to count on my winnings from betting the NFL.
Yeah,
that's how I'm doing.
Yeah, no joke. We've had
brutal.
Well, see, I think the frustrating part is, so I'm like, I'm giving my best five. I'm giving my top five picks here on Steehn vs. Machine. My bottom five are doing great. So that sounds like a cop out. That sounds like a don't worry, I'm doing better offline. But I am. You can follow, at Roll with Machine, my 10 bets. So I placed, 9 bets on Sunday or 10 bets on Sunday. I ended up positive. I came out positive. But as we're going to see on the show, I'm negative on the show. So, really putting our best stuff out here on Patreon. That's really good stuff.
Welcome to another edition of Fade the Steehns. So we have given out a lot of winners, but you just got to know how to take them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're getting closer. So Scott,
how many other people are hitting 80%, huh, fuckers? That's right.
Yeah, right. All right. So Scott, last week you had the Browns minus 6.5. That did not hit. You had the Bucks minus
Heartbreaker. Missed the extra point, and then you know what? Anytime they don't cover, I want them to lose, and they did.
Oh, absolutely. So. Yeah. You had Bucks minus 2.5. Oh, speaking of heartbreakers with the Browns. Oh my gosh, I had the Browns. I had the Pat McAfee boost last night. On FanDuel over there. They had Nick Chubb scored, Najee Harris scored, Browns Steelers plus 7.5. And I was like, holy shit, they backdoor covered with a fucking
Steelers plus 10.5.
No, it was just Steelers plus 7.5 for the backdoor cover. It did screw all the teasers also for the Steelers though too. That is right. Which might be but I mean, so Mike Tomlin kicking a field goal. I'm like, hell, backdoor cover. Holy shit! And it wasn't even the line. The line was 5.5, so I was already getting bonus. I was like, all right, sweet, we're great. And they go out there and they throw the pass up to Deontay Johnson at like the 15-yard line. So I'm like, oh, we're gonna be all right. I see him. They lateral it once, which also they lateral it back to Claypool. Claypool laterals it to someone else. I know that screwed the Claypool.
Right. He lost 6 yards on that.
Yep. And
exactly.
People were pissed on that because he was at 41, ends up at 35. His line was 35.5. Again, it's not rigged. It's not rigged against you, but man, some days it feels like it is. We talked about.
Yeah. They're not telling Claypool to go. Okay, on that lateral play, make sure you lose at least 6 yards.
Right. Well, we talked about it on Dom That's True this week. I had, last week I had the Cardinals money line, which was insane. I had the Dolphins money line, which was insane. And then I had the Packers Bears money line, which we watched together on Sunday night, where Justin Fields probably scored a touchdown. They didn't count it. There's just a lot of stuff to come in, and even though they were at 31 at halftime, they still ended up under the number. So we're saying, sometimes the balls all bounce your way. And then, of course, we're right back to it on Thursday night. The betting gods give it, the betting gods take it away. So a heartbreaker there.
I'd had 2 miracle undercovers in the second half where they'd scored 3 points and 6 points respectively to keep me under.
Yeah.
And I almost got another one last night. But yeah, I couldn't quite get home. So what do you do?
No, just brutal stuff. So you had Bucks minus 2.5. That one did cash. That was a ugly game. I had the Saints money line in that one, obviously, where I thought I looked good. I thought I had a shot for a long time, and then it all kind of fell apart there. But you had Bucks minus 2.5, Bengals minus 7. Bengals could have been frauds. Huh?
That team is awful, man. Just that offensive line, 13 sacks in 2 games. That's just, you can't win that way, and you're not going to keep Burrow healthy for 17 games. If he makes it to the midway point, no way you can give up 6 sacks a week and keep your quarterback healthy because he's taking. If he's giving up 6-7 sacks, he's taking 3 or 4 more shots anyway. So
they got better on the offensive line on paper, and somehow have gotten much worse. It's insane to think about. You had the Houston and Denver. You had over 45. Man, that was close. That was a terrible football game. That was like watching the K-State play, except it was the pros. 16-9 on that.
every bit as bad as you thought it was. So yeah, a couple things that looked like frauds in the first week, the Bengals and Russell Wilson still do.
Still frauds,
So,
apparently, yeah.
I kind of went against what I saw with my eyes and went, well, they can't be that bad. Nah, they can. They can even be worse. So yeah.
Well, but at least
good time.
At least you had the Bills minus 9.5. They do seem to be for real, and the Titans bad, super bad. I think Ryan Tannehill. I think whatever they had injected him with the last 2 years to make them actual contenders, I believe it has run out, and it is. But Malik Willis looks all right.
With Larry Johnson, there's something about the magic number of 300 carries, and when you have a running back that gets the kind of load that Henry has, they get washed, and they get washed in a hurry. He's had 900 carries in 3 years, and I believe he's played just 37 games. I think that's right, because he only played 8 last year.
Well, and he's had carries like that since high school. If you look back at his high school days, they were running him like 50 times a game in high school. I mean, he holds the record for most rushing yards of any high school player all time. And I mean, he was putting up, trust me, they were running him like 60 times a game, 50, 60, 40. But he was averaging like 10 yards a carry. So, it was
that's brutal. Stats. I mean, I can't remember. I know all those stats got trotted out when Larry Johnson had his year where he had a ton of carries.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the charts about 300 carries and almost the immediate drop off. So somebody else to look for in that bucket is Najee Harris. Also had 300 carries last year, by the way.
Yeah.
Over 400 touches. Jesus.
Right. Well, and he looks fine. He hasn't looked great this year, but at least he's staying healthy. But but with Derrick Henry out, or Derrick Henry just not producing as he used to, he's only run for 2 first downs this year so far through 2 weeks. Not a great stat. But
certainly one guy is able to bring him down. He's being tackled by one guy, and that was never the case when he was in his prime. So keep an eye on that. Tennessee could be really, really bad.
Well, and it helps. It makes it harder to cover the cracks there with Ryan Tannehill again, like we said, basically glorified Alex Smith, but playing just a little bit better. But now he's playing a little bit worse, and with a worse Derrick Henry, you can't cover those holes.
And no receivers. Don't forget he's working with like almost nothing there as far as the receiver core goes.
Right, Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, nothing super fun there. Speaking, I did not do that much better, to be fair. I had the Saints money line last week. Again, we talked about the Bucs game. I had the Falcons money line. I also had the Falcons under. So that was double frustrating for me, for them to not only be down 28-3, which is even funnier, but they were coming back, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna come back, you better fucking win, because you blew the under for me. And of course, they do just enough to lose the under, and then throw a goal line interception to lose that game to the Rams. And I was like, God.
That would have been the case on Thursday night this week. If Pittsburgh would have scored the touchdown instead of the field goal, they would have taken it over and beat my Browns bet. So yeah, that would have been the same kind of thing, where you're like, well, at least beat them, and they're not going to, but they just beat you.
Yeah. I had the Seahawks money line. In my defense, I think if Trey Lance would have stayed in, we might have been a little bit closer, honestly.
100%. 100%. We were texting in our work group, and there's no way that they don't get the cover there with Garoppolo in. That was a horrible break for Seahawks bettors, no question.
I had the Cincy Dallas under. Man, that was a good bet. It got a little shaky there towards the end. I can't remember the actual score, but I know that it did come in under. And then like we talked about earlier, we had the Chicago Green Bay under. Man, what was that Dallas score? I don't want to distract. I think it was maybe 2017.
Pretty good rule of thumbs, kids. When only one team is going to score much, it's a lot easier to hit those unders.
Yeah. In 2017 in that Dallas Cowboys Bengals game. So, yeah, obviously a little close to the 41.5, but with a total that low, you're going to be probably pretty close to it. Did they get
a late? Yeah, since he got a late meaningless touchdown. Okay, that's what I thought, because I didn't think the game was that close. Yeah, it was 17-3 at halftime. All right.
Yeah, they just kind of.
Oh, then they came. Oh, that's right. They came back to tie it. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
they actually went for the 2-pointer, and then Dallas kicked the last second field goal. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
all
like,
coming back to me now.
It's helpful to have Mike McCarthy, where they're not going to go down there and drive. That they're playing for the field goal, so that's nice to see. uh, when you have the under. The Dallas Cowboys aren't going down there to score a touchdown because it's Mike McCarthy.
Oh, no.
He's already just playing for the field goal in his head, which, shout out Mike McCarthy for sure.
I don't think there's anything that sums up the Mike McCarthy era better than the last play of last season with Dak running down the middle of the field with fucking 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
Where are you going, buddy? I was watching that game going, what in the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, once he went past the line of scrimmage, I'm like, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do some games, or what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to talk about even more about how we're doing. All right. Give us the hard cold numbers.
All right. So we both went 2 and 3. I went I netted minus 100 because I lost 3 money lines and I won 2 bets. So I was plus 200 on the 2 wins, minus 300 on the 3 losses. It's not always that clean, but it was for me this week. So what were you saying?
I don't think you have to show your work.
I know, but
so it's minus 300 plus 200. So if you see this, you bring down zero.
Carry the one. Yeah. You ended up at minus 135. I won't break down the numbers for you. You also went 2 and 3.
Lay that juice. I'm laying that juice.
Yeah, exactly. Brings both of us. We're both 3 and 7 on the year.
Between my 3 losers, I laid 35 cents of juice. There, saved you some trouble.
Yes, thank you. We're both 3 and 7 on the year. You're minus 449. I'm minus 414. So, woo! I keep the lead through 2 weeks. I'm very proud of this. Absolutely. But we were 1 and 4 last week. We're 2 and 3 this week. Scott, let's try to bring it to 3 and 2 this week. Are you ready to do some picks?
I like the way this is headed. You guys should join us in about 2 weeks when we'll be each go 5-0.
Yeah, right when it goes on the the Patreon does start to actually charge people. That's really nice. So,
yeah, free Patreon.
It's free Patreon right up until like October 1st, I believe, is when so this is your last week of free Patreon, and then you actually have to pay for it.
You should offer it free until we have a winning record.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's happening this week. This is the week. So
if you want to tune in for more losing picks, it's only going to cost you, what is it, like $5 a month?
Yeah, it's $5 a month. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's very reasonable.
Where else are you going to get losing picks for $5 a month?
What are you going to do? All guess? Right. No. I've got. I'll hit you with my first pick of the week. I actually have the Ravens minus 2.5. I believe in this Ravens team. I think, of course, they had an epic collapse against the Dolphins. I do not expect the same thing to happen this week. I expect them to kind of bounce back here against a bad Patriots team. I don't think this Patriots team is good at all. I think Mac Jones is hurting a bit. I think the offense just doesn't have much juice. I think they can't figure out what they're doing at running back. Jacoby Myers has been the lone bright spot, but I still just don't trust Mac Jones, that offense, enough. And I do believe in the Ravens and their offense enough. I like the Ravens minus 2.5 here.
That's very good. Yeah, Baltimore average 6.2 yards per carry on the ground. Patriots defense a little bit better than the Dolphins, but this still is going to be a team that is going to run the football, and I think they're going to have success doing that, taking the air out of the ball. My first pick is going to be the Bills minus 5.5. This pains me to say as a Chiefs fan, but right now the Bills are the best team in the NFL on both sides of the ball, and I don't even really think it's close on either side. Miami's going to go down by 20 in this one, and then you know what's going to happen? They're going to fucking lose by 30. They're not coming back again like they did last week. I think this is a mismatch. We're getting a great number. This has actually come down. There's been Dolphins money coming in, so keep that up, please, if you would.
Yeah.
Because I will take this Ravens team or this Bills team less than a touchdown. Yeah, let's get that done.
There's always a lot of talk about fading the public. I think my favorite public fade this week is it's the weird Oregon State thing where everybody's been betting on Oregon State this week and pushing that line way down. And the USC is down to like a touchdown. They opened as like 2 touchdown favorites, and I think they're almost down to like a touchdown favorite. And I'm like,
I think it's 5.5 because we just did our college show this afternoon, and that was almost one of my picks. That USC team has been very, very good to me so far this season, and they have been excellent on the field. So
and I guess people are seeing something in the Gophers that I guess makes them want to really bet on them. And I think the Beavers. Sorry, yeah, no,
Beavers. Gophers don't build dams. They just draw. They're the blueprint guys.
I think I had the right. I had the teeth in my head, and I think I just went the wrong big-toothed animal. That's my bad.
You got your snarling rodents confused, son.
Yeah.
Jesus. What's your second pick?
But yeah, so that my second pick. is the Chiefs minus 5.5. It's a little bit of a jinx for me, honestly. I'm a little bit worried. Actually, if anybody, your wife, my mom, was getting on to me for doing clickbait titles on my YouTube videos for our Chiefs Colts preview. I said the Chiefs might beat the Colts by 60. That was the title of the YouTube video for our preview of Dom That's True this week that we busted out, and we just put on a separate video that's a nice little 15-minute video on the YouTube. And mom commented on my stuff. It was like, you're jinxing. What are you doing? I was like, I did clickbait something. She's like, well, this isn't what I taught you. This isn't how you were raised to do your YouTube content. I was like, thanks, mom. So, but yeah, I believe that this Chiefs team. I think this Indy team. Matt Ryan looks awful. Michael Pittman Jr. is gonna go. Shaq Leonard's out. Listen, I think the Chiefs are a much better team than the Colts. Plain and simple. I think they're going to go out there. I think they're going to show everybody. I think they're going to be very comfortable. They've only had 5 quarterback pressures through this entire season so far. 5 through 2 games. And if you can't pressure Patrick Mahomes with a 4-man rush, and if you're going to blitz him at all, or you're going to try to do anything to generate that, I think Patrick Mahomes is absolutely going to pick apart this Colts team from a very comfortable pocket. Give me the Chiefs minus 5.5.
It worries me. This is a game that's been pounded by sharps all week. It's down from 6.5 to 5.5. This is just the kind of game that the Chiefs go out and shit the bed.
Yep.
On the road against a team that's not playing well. They don't even look like they're in the same league as the Chiefs. Chiefs have a big Sunday night game next week against Tampa Bay on national TV. I think it could be a look-ahead spot. We're also going to be without Butker again. It didn't matter last week. It might matter this week. No Willie Gay. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
No Mike Danis, so we don't have a lot of depth on the defensive line. Yes, on paper, Chiefs should absolutely roll them up. Matt Ryan has looked bad. Defense has taken a step backwards. But Jonathan Taylor gets loose, puts 150, 160 on the Chiefs. Could be a long day for the boys in red. I'm just staying away from that one. So God bless you, son, right there.
Willie Gay being out truly is the wild card here. Who knows how the Chiefs will respond? I think the Chiefs are going to be okay. I think they're going to be fine in this game. I worry about them for the upcoming games against the Bucs and the Bills. Obviously, a weird time for that suspension to come down after week 2, where they all of a sudden have to miss week 6 against the Bills. Again, we talked about all this on Don That's True. I think it's very odd NFL discipline overall, but we don't need to get into all that. Scott, what's your second pick?
Saints -3. This is a New Orleans team that was really able to run the ball well against Tampa Bay and their tough run defense. They averaged better than 5 yards per carry, and that was without Alvin Kamara. They get Kamara back for this one. On the other side of the ball, Saints defense was outstanding, especially against the run. They held Fournette. They held September Lenny to 24 carries for 65 yards. Brady ended up beating him with his Hall of Fame arm and good receivers. The Panthers have neither one of those things. I like the Saints on the road to keep the Panthers winless. We'll lay the 3.
Well, I got an even better rate for you, Scott. I got about -2.5. So on FanDuel right now.
Right.
So there you go.
Okay.
Which moves me on to my third pick. I actually have the Las Vegas Raiders and the Tennessee Titans. I have it under 45.5. We were actually just talking about how bad this Tennessee Titans offense is. And again, if you think one team is going to be the only team who can actually score points, it's generally a good game to bet the under. And I do not think the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be able to put up over 30. And I don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to be able to put up over 14. So I like this line at 45.5. I think it's probably a slam dunk for the Raiders a fair amount. I have them favored in my system by almost 5.5 points. But I think it'll be a low-scoring affair, and I like the under 45.5 there.
All right. I'm going to give honorable mention to the Lions catching 6 against the Vikes. You know, this Vikes team, they looked awful on Monday night. Couldn't stop the run or the pass from the Eagles and gave up 5.3 yards per carry on the ground. That's a problem with DeAndre Swift. I think they are. This offense is sneaky good. They're the second highest scoring team in the NFL. So if you don't have Swift or Amon-Ra St. Brown on your fantasy team, I'm very sorry. But my actual pick is going to be the Eagles -7 against the Commanders. Fly, Eagles, fly. It is hard imagine for me this Washington defense stomping Philly. Um, they have a lot of weapons. I think Miles Sanders is pretty underrated as far as running backs goes. He's very durable. Is able to catch passes out of the backfield. Philly's defense isn't great. They really can't stop the run. Luckily, the Commanders can't run the football. Hurts, I think, is one of the guys this season has really taken that next step forward. 7th in QBR, 10th in quarterback rating. I think he can probably stay in the top 10 throughout the season. He looks very good. And of course, he's always a danger to beat you with his legs. It may be scrappy for a while, as NFC East battles usually are. Don't always like laying the points on the road in a division game, but rules are meant to be broken, and we're going to break it right here. Give me the Eagles, -7.
Yeah, I've actually I've got you -6.5 on FanDuel at -106. So even better rate. Not only is it even better than your 7, it's even better on the juice. You ain't got to pay the full 110. So
sweet.
Which brings me to my fourth pick. I've got the Houston Cincy under 39.5. Again, two atrocious or Houston Chicago. Sorry, I'm writing too quick. Houston, Chicago, under 39.5. Again, these are two teams that have looked bad. Houston Texans have looked bad. The Chicago Bears have looked bad. Both of those offenses are bad. This is line actually. It was 40.5 yesterday. It's already moving down to 39.5. Especially if it bounces up to 40.5.
41 on Tuesday when we taped. By the way, because I've got it on my sheet here from Tuesday. It's 41. So
right. So it moved through the all important number of 40. So I wonder if you might see it go back up. The under is already -114 at 39.5. So it's probably going to move even a little bit lower by the end of the week.
39.
So
yep.
Yeah. But either way, I like it still. I still like the under 39.5. Even if this does work its way down to 39, I still like it. I just, again, like I said, Davis Mills is bad. The Justin Fields has looked terrible. Terrible's maybe not the right word. He's looked underwhelming as far as some of the Chicago Bears fans got their hopes up to be. He's looked not good enough as what they were hoping. And I think this is going to be a bad game between two bad teams. Give me the Houston-Chicago under 39.5.
The Chiefs are looking at them going, see, that's why we never took a quarterback in the top 10 for 50 years. Well, it's worked out for Chicago.
Right.
Man, if you whiff on the franchise quarterback two separate drafts, that's just awful.
Hey, third times in a row for Chicago, I'm sure. I'm sure CJ Stroud's going to be great next year.
Okay. I got the same play. Tell you what I wrote in my notes. I wrote, who wins? Who cares? I hate both of these offenses. As you mentioned, they are terrible. They are 26th and 27th in the league in scoring. As long as we can stay away from the cheap defensive touchdown, the pick six, the scoop and score, the blocked punt, that kind of shit, I think we'll be fine. I don't think in 5 quarters these teams can put 40 points on the board. I'll take the under, whatever it is now, 39.5.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching my stock portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was actually, this game was actually my favorite pick of the week. My system it has a way of estimating how many points it thinks each team's going to score. The offenses compared to the defense, using the offense and the defensive stats and comparing them, it had both offenses scoring 0 points in this game. So,
nice.
I love the under.
Okay, so your system may need some tweaks, is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, again, I'm not betting exact score 0-0. But, man, if you could bet exact score 0-0 and it hits, whoo, turn $1 into 1,000 there. That brings me to my final pick. I actually have the Rams Cardinals. I have them under 48.5. This is a very good Los Angeles Rams. It's been a solid. It was better last year. They've held up okay this year. This Los Angeles Rams, obviously, they let the Atlanta Falcons kind of creep back last week as maybe what I hope is a cautionary tale, as they also watched Arizona be able to creep back last week. But this Arizona Cardinals team, obviously, I mean, it was 20-0 midway through the third quarter, and the Raiders fell apart. I expect these teams, if it is a normal game where neither of these teams falls apart like they did last week, I love the 48.5. If we get some shenanigans like we had last week, I'm a little more worried. But as for this week, give me the Rams Cardinals under 48.5.
Okay. And my last pick is going to be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is down to pick'em, little Packer money coming in this week. I am still not convinced about this Packer offense without Devontae Adams. I just don't think that they are going to be able to be consistent. We saw that against the Bears in a game they quite easily could have lost if a couple bounces would have gone the other direction. Offense may be better later in the season, but I don't think this is the week to get well. Tampa Bay, for all their faults, and I talked about them having a problem stopping the New Orleans running game. At the end of the day, they've given up just 13 points in 2 games. I think it's going to be an ugly game, but I think the Bucs get the home win there against a Packers team that still just isn't hitting on all cylinders offensively. Give me Tampa Bay. Pick 'em.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. There's talk of what is it? Sammy Watkins is out. Christian Watson and Alan Lazard were both questionable. There's a very likely possibility this is going to be a very bad Packers receiving core. I'm excited.
And yet the line has gone the other direction. The line has gone in favor of the Packers.
I guess it's with Mike Evans out. And Chris Godwin's out, so or he's questionable at least. I guess I could see where people are at, but I don't know, man. I think this Tampa Bay defense is going to have a field day against Aaron Rodgers in that Green Bay line.
I'll take Scotty Miller over any receiver on the Green Bay roster.
I'm not sure I'm quite there with you. I'd still probably take Lazard if he plays, but you're not far off.
That's the man of football. That's the man of football, Scotty Miller.
All right. I guess so. All right. There's another 5 picks. Hopefully we're getting a little closer. Hopefully 3-2 this week. Hopefully 5-0, right? Yeah, I mean, it's makes the math even simpler. I even don't have to show my work even more if we all just if we both go plus 500. It's fairly simple.
We're up 500. That's right.
Right, and again, we're one good week from being positive here. Anyway, so I've got Ravens. So as a recap, Ravens minus 2.5, Chiefs minus 5.5. Vegas, Tennessee under 45.5. Houston, Chicago under 39.5. The Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals under 48.5. And you have the Bills minus 5.5, the Saints minus 2.5, the Eagles minus 6.5, the Houston, Chicago under 39.5, and Tampa Bay at the pick'em. I like it. I like them all.
Very good. I'm just looking at the Bills' schedule here. They may not be under a touchdown for a while until they meet the Chiefs. They get the Chiefs and the Packers back to back. I think the rest of those numbers are probably going to be touchdown or better. So
yeah, I saw people already had the FanDuel released a couple graphics today about when you could bet on when the Bills undefeated streak would end.
How
long they'd be undefeated till. And
that's fair.
The Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Packers were both the lowest of those two, but
sure,
it could be this week against the Dolphins. You're gonna find out a lot of again, as always with these first 4 weeks, it feels like we go through this thing where we overreact to teams and then you get your hopes squashed. And so it might be time for the Dolphins to come up and we knock them down a peg. Or maybe both these teams look very human and you feel a lot better about the state of the NFL and maybe that we haven't already crowned our Super Bowl champion. So
Dolphins ought to get a fucking safety that can play deep.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if they had one of those. I can't. You know who they should go after in the offseason? They should go for Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that'd be a great fit in that Dolphins defense for him.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. Alrighty, Scott. I appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully we'll be back here with more with some more winners celebrating our victories next week. Again, you can find you over youtube.com/winners and whiners. You guys already released your week 3 show, right?
Yeah, came out on Thursday. Still getting good views, so make sure you check that out. Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas. We need to start winning. We're gonna name this show "Dom They Suck."
What,
Dom? Those are some terrible picks.
Is it? All right.
I'll let you do the joke.
All right, Mr. 10 words to a show name, whatever. was a Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas.
Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the rise of the greatest sports betting show in the world.
The rise of the longest show name of all time to still be on YouTube. All right.
The funny part is about half the time I say it, it's the rise and fall, and that's not good.
That's just the rise. Just we're you stay at the top.
We're not going to document the fall.
Right. And if you like Twitter, twitter.com/Steamroller. That's STEEHN.
Steamroller. Everybody watches this show should know how to spell that name. That's right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And
we're stop walking over here as you try to promo me.
Yeah.
So I do have premium picks available too, by the way. If you want my very, very best plays for the week, don't listen to this show. I sell those. Go for the winnersandwhiners.com, click on the experts tab, and get yourself signed up right there. So
alrighty. Well, sounds great. Thanks for joining us here again, Scott. And thank you everybody for being here week 3 of Steehn vs. Machine. We hope to see you back with a couple more winners for week 4 of Steehn vs. Machine. Thank you. Good night. Bye. Nice. Didn't need the mic. Love you guys. Bye.
Absolutely. Have a good one. What are you doing tonight?